music board and relations and students to help.
Let's sing. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
I see us from start.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. One more time. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Thank you.
Welcome and good morning.
Good morning.
Not everybody loves birthdays. They remind us of the passing of the years. But our fellowship should know that it's still a young church. I've got about 20 years and a few months on it myself. And I grew up in a congregation that was celebrating its centennial in the 1970s. Now, St. Peter's Basilica, there's a much older church. But look at some of the folks who visited there last week, and she was still strong enough that the roof did not fall in. Welcome to our fellowship's 40th birthday observance. Come, whoever you are, holding various beliefs, whatever your skin color or national origin, whatever your age or gender identity, whatever your abilities, whomever you love, you are welcome. At the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Statesboro, you are welcome in this, our religious home. We extend a warm welcome to our visitors or guests. If you would like to introduce yourself or someone else, we invite you to take a moment now to do that. Anyone? All right.
I'll do that. We welcome Greg's mom and sister today. We welcome first-time visitor Morgan today.
Hey, morning.
Yeah, and let me see if I see any other first-time folks. Do we have other first-time folks?
Oh, but someone haven't seen in a while.
But well, Shari, you want to call attention?
I'm looking at Sarah and Michael.
Oh, yes, that's right. Sarah and Michael, yes, we come back to business. And Tanya and Spruce have come all the way back again to visit us again. So from Warner Robins, yeah. So glad to have them on this anniversary. Actually, Sarah, I won't call attention to everybody because we don't call attention to but go ahead.
If you have anyone who is a new or a recent visitor who would like to give us some more contact information, we would like for you to do that with our guest registry here at the front entrance or online at www.uustatesboro.org so that we can send you more information about the fellowship. Thank you, members and guests, for sharing your resources during our offertory later in the service or again via our website. In the month of April, half of our offering that is not designated as pledge will be donated to the Bullitt County branch of the NAACP. Now, I invite you to join me in reciting our congregational affirmation. Love is
spirit of this fellowship and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Our worship leader this morning is our minister, the Rev.Jane.
Thank you very much to our president, Al Hackle, for that very gracious welcome that he has shared with us on our 40th birthday. We're going to begin this service like we do each one of our services, because this is what we do. We light a chalice. We're going to light our chalice. We'll share these chalice words, and then I will give you a note, and we will sing Rise Up, O Flame together as we rise in body or spirit. Here we go.
This is our chalice of love and light, uniting us all by day and night. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
And now, while you're up, we invite you to turn around and speak to one another.
This is my baby
Oh, wow. And while you were up chatting, we had our birthday candles lit. And so we're going to ask the children and the youth. Oh, here comes some more. That's good. Children and youth, if the ones that are willing to, come and help lead the singing. We're going to sing and help blow out the candles. We're going to sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, UU Fellowship. Happy birthday to you. And then after we sing, we'll blow out the candles, okay? And at least a couple of our youth need to come up and help, because I don't think these two can all first candles. Are we ready to sing? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Youth Fellowship. Happy birthday to you. Oh, there are a lot of them. Woo! Woo! Oh, yeah! All right, now, wait, come back up. And help us lead the affirmation. All right, here we are. Ready? We are Unitarian Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. Thanks. We got other youth that want to go out. You can come out and go through the bridge too, under the bridge. I'm going to put it up and we're going to sing. Now this music we're singing to is a little slower than we normally sing, so that'll give y'all plenty of time to go out. Well, those of you, especially in the middle, make the bridge, please, for our children to go out. Here we go. Beneath our arms, we shelter you. again, welcome to our wonderful celebration. Quite a while back, Shari Barr, knowing that I was going to retire this year, said, "Oh, I'm going to throw you a retirement party, Jane. We're going to have a big party." I said, "You are not." But I will let you plan something for our 40th birthday celebration. And so Sherry's been planning along with Martha, Abby, and me and others, and we've come together today to celebrate our 40th birthday together, 40 years that we've been together as a congregation. We're going to try to answer 3 questions while Martha hands out. Martha, raise your hand if you didn't get a copy of our history. Okay. So, we are celebrating 40 years. We're going to try to answer 3 questions. Who were we? Who are we? And of course, who will we be? Who will we be? And I asked for folks to share with me some of their favorite UU songs because we're going to intersperse some of these sharings and memories with our songs. And Matthew Kleinsort, who had a bone marrow transplant and is in Atlanta for a time period of isolation before he can come back and be with us again, he emailed me and suggested we sing "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." And I thought, how perfect for us. Not only do we have simple beginnings, but we try to be simple in what we do today as well. So it's a grand song. Now, many of the songs I had recordings that Eric Stetson had made when he was here, but I didn't have one for "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple" that I could just push a button on. But I thought, well, I shouldn't for "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." We need to just sing it, right? Right. So I'll give you the first note and we're going to sing this together. "'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning, we come round right. Oh, you all did really well today. So good. Now, we're going to have some folks come up and share some memories, and I'll be sharing some too. And to divide these up into, different time periods, I've just got some pictures of our buildings. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them that the fellowship met in. And one of our early buildings was Bland Cottage. You'll hear more about that, perhaps from some of our sharers. But the first person that's going to come up and share, I'd like to introduce, is really the only one we have here still that was here in 1985. And, I say the only one. Sarah was here, the daughter too, as a toddler. But Martha Hughes is our only charter member that we have left in the congregation. The others have moved on, either moved on or moved on. But thank goodness Martha is still here with us. So Martha, will you please come and share some early memories with us? Congregation. Martha Hughes.
As many of you have heard me say before, 1983 was a big year for me and my family. My husband Morgan and I left Atlanta to move to Statesboro as we started a new life with a new job and a new baby, Sarah. Marvin and I had occasionally attended the big UU church in Atlanta on North Druid Hills Road, but as we approached the challenges of parenthood and life in a small town, we both knew that this was the church we wanted our child to grow up in. So we started driving to the UU church in Savannah on Sundays, where we met the Reverend Frank Anderson. Eventually, Reverend Anderson realized that quite a few people were driving from Statesboro, so he put us in contact with each other, and slowly we started organizing and meeting once a month in people's living rooms, at the library, or anywhere that had enough space to accommodate us. My very first meeting of this organization in Statesboro was at the bank building in the parking lot of the mall where Starbucks is located now. The convener of the group was Susie Palfy, whom I still remember as our leader in those early days, and the speaker was Ab Roselle, who spoke on the very controversial book that had just been published, The Last Temptation of Christ. There was a lively discussion after his talk, and I knew right then that this was where I wanted to be. When I look back at those early years, I remember a lot of firsts. Our first duly elected president, Bob Nelson, our first RE program run by Stephanie Thames and me with an enrollment of 3 children, her 2 children, Ben and Claire, and my Sarah. Our first place of our own before the Bland Cottage, which was the Developmental Studies building at Georgia Southern College, as it was known then, where we sat in desks in straight rows. And also the first beginnings of ritual, such as the time my dear friend Marge McLaughlin suggested that we light a candle as people expressed their personal joys and concerns, or the time that Paul McGovern, a music professor at Georgia Southern, proposed that we sing Rise Up, O Flame as we lit the chalice. Ultimately, we moved to Bland Cottage in the Botanical Gardens, both because we needed more space and because the beautiful natural setting there was so much more conducive to spiritual growth. And at some point, we made the huge decision not to only meet twice a month, 10 months out of the year with summers off, but to meet every Sunday, year-round. It was a huge step. The experiment in open-minded religion in Statesboro, Georgia had taken root. My hope for this church is, and always has been, that it simply keep going. To that end, I am so grateful for all the people, many of whom are in this room today, who joined us after our humble beginnings and who have been so instrumental in reaching what we are today, a supportive and loving community for our children, a voice for social justice, both locally and globally, and a sanctuary that is open to all who are open to all. I sought out this church for my child, Sarah, but I stayed for myself.
Thank you, Martha. We appreciate that. So another favorite song that someone suggested was We Laugh, We Cry. Now, that's a lot about what we are. We are a community, and we share all these things, our joys and our sorrows, as Martha just mentioned, together. It's a very long song, so we're just going to sing 2 verses of We Laugh, We Cry. And I invite you all, you may remain seated, we'll stand up later to sing something, but just, we're going to sing We Laugh, We Cry. So here goes. Shari is an answer. Shari is a long time, over 30 years, member of this congregation, involved in this congregation at least. I'm not sure exactly when she joined. It's on the timeline, I'm sure. but also she's one of our pastoral care associates. And she, most of these pictures, not all of them, some others contribute some, but most of these pictures are pictures not only that she put up there, but pictures that she took. For Shari, if there's not a picture, it didn't happen. So we're very grateful for Shari, and she's going to share some of her memories and perceptions today.
Thank you, Jane. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I like to take pictures. I like to record my life as I go. My life with UU began probably 1994 or late 93. And when I went, we were meeting, no, this is Grady Street, we'll get there. The Bland Cottage that was up a minute ago was the first place where I attended the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Statesboro. And as Martha said, it was twice a month that we met then. And we did not meet in the summertime. But it was a good group. I knew I was in the right place. I was in another church, which had a lot of good people, like all the churches. But the minister at that particular time, my perception was that he stood in the high pulpit and handed down the truth. And the congregants were supposed to say, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir." And the first time I went to UU, and we sat and listened, and then we broke and got a cup of coffee, and then we came back, and we sat in a circle with the speaker, and the speaker answered questions, and we talked, and we shared, everybody shared their own reaction to the topic of the day. And it's like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a circle of peers, of folks who can share together where every voice counts. And that's what I found in UU. So we, at that point in our life, we were what's known as a church in a box, because we did not have a permanent home. So volunteers every week we met had to bring in the big plastic tote in which was packed our the wall hanging that we still have that hangs out in the hall. The wall hanging was packed in there. Our chalice, at that point we had little straw baskets we used for the offering. Also in that box was our coffee pot and our coffee cups. So each Sunday we met. Somebody had to come early and get that plugged in and set up and get the coffee ready by the time the service was over. So it was a good step forward, as Martha said, when we decided that we would rent classrooms in the nursing building. Now at that time the nursing building was a couple of trailers located where the baseball field is now on Fair Road. But that's where we met for the next few years. And it was a step up because our big plastic tote found a home in Dr. Carol Simonson's office because one of our members taught there. And so she allowed us to store it there. So we still had to open it up and plug it in, but we didn't have to carry it each week. So that was progress. While we were there, I started thinking about so many people, particularly reviewing all these pictures. But if I start mentioning names, I'm afraid I'll forget somebody. But I will mention that Marky and Judy, the dynamic duo. Marky was our president, and Judy was a new incomer who just retired, had lots of energy. Between them and the board, we started a capital campaign. We raised money. We bought 2 lots on Grady Street. We hired a contractor. Judy drew plans. We built our own building where we moved into there in 1999. So a big step in that was bringing the carton from Carol's office and unpacking it and hanging it on the wall, and we had our own home. And we met there on Grady Street from 1999 to 2015 when we moved into this place. This has been my church home for all of those many years, as Jane said, 30 plus. While we were in that building on Grady Street, other huge life events for me were the births of my 4 grandchildren. And so many of you who've been around a while know John Paul was welcomed in 2001 and Grace in 2003. At that time, that was before Jane was called. And so we did welcoming services at need, at request. And so this congregation welcomed both of those children to the world and blessed them because I asked for that. So this community welcomed my children to the world. And my grandchildren basically grew up in this congregation. Later, by the time John Paul and Zan, the North Carolina grandson, came into the world in 2012 and 14, Charlie and Zan. Keep me straight. By the time Charlie and Zan were born in 2012 and 2014, Jane was in place, and it had become our tradition to welcome newcomers, new children and new babies to the congregation annually at our in-gathering service. And so they both were welcomed by Jane at the in-gathering service in 2012 and 2014. And then, of course, in 2015, we joyously moved into this space where we've been ever since. And kind of coming full circle, my great-grandson, John Paul's child, John Paul III, was born in 2022 and was welcomed here in 2023 at the in-gathering service. So all four of my grandchildren and my great-grandchild now have been welcomed to the world and blessed by their association with these good people. All of you good people, the ones who've gone before you, all of you who are now, and the ones who will come. We are an ongoing community, and I'm blessed to call it my church home and my church family. And I appreciate every one of you and what you has meant to me through the years. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, Sherry's talked a lot about the children that have come through here, and one of them is sitting right there. JD, well, with Sherry's, same time that Sherry's grandchildren were, the older two grandchildren were around. So we've had a lot of blessings with children and grandchildren, but we had one very special child that we wanted to hear from, because we have one child that has been with us since conception. So Walden Hackle, the son of Al and June, they came in one Sunday to this building and shared with us they were expecting a baby. And then Walden came here and was here through early years and later years and is now in college. But we asked Walden, as someone who has been here a child that's been here for all of his life, if he'd like to share something, and his dad interviewed him, and I'd just like to read a couple of excerpts. One thing I'll just share, I'll paraphrase. He does remember this building. He remembers his classes, maybe not the specific content, but he feels like the lessons got through to him. He mainly remembers the playground, and in the playground, Sarah's laughing, he remembers the sandbox, and JD, you remember the sandbox, and the loads of fun that they had there. In fact, we had to have a sandbox here because we had the sandbox there. The thing I remember about the sandbox, do you remember, Matilda, about the sandbox? Do you remember what happened?
I sat on that fire ant.
Yes. Went out and sat. I heard the scream. I was in there preaching or whatever, and I heard this scream, and she had sat in the middle of the fire ants. So that was that's a memory that stuck with me. She got okay after a while. She will never forget that sandbox, I guess, all those early years. But then Walden says, then we came here. So he remembers when he came here, he says, I remember distinctly the RE classes in the new building in that room off to the left. I remember Mom taught and Ms. Tanya taught, and Mr. Brian. It was like a formative experience because we finally got into some of the stuff, the deeper parts like of our religious education. It wasn't just like what the principles are. We got into why all the principles matter. When we talked about the origins of the 7 principles, we talked about the Jewish and Christian sources of our faith. I enjoyed it. I'm only a little bit of transportation away from still continuing to attend a UU church. I believe the one up here is the Georgia Mountains of UU. So he knows even now that UU is where he needs to be, I think. But he says also, since being here at UNG, that's up in North Georgia, I've attended another church or two. On Easter, it was nice getting to visit with members of the nearby Presbyterian congregation, but I still miss UU services. I like to think that growing up in a Unitarian Universalist congregation made a significant and fundamental contribution to my worldview. I like to think that my curiosity and desire to question what I learned to come to my own, to desire to question what I learned to come to my own understanding and meaning stems from our fourth principle. So he's learned here that, as we say in one of our songs, to question is the answer. I'd also like to say that the way I treat people in day-to-day life is reflective of our first principle, as it was ingrained in me through attendance. I'm really glad that I grew up as a part of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Statesboro, and I think it helped make me a more curious and empathetic person. Isn't that what we hope for our young folks? So, Walden is not here, but you can share with him, Gene and Al, that we applaud him. We're going now. We have another little song before our next segment that we're going to sing, and this is number 170 that some folks ask for. This sort of describes us sometimes. We are gentle people, but sometimes we get a little upset about some things too, don't we? And we don't like it when people are not don't have the justice that they should deserve, and we sometimes can get a little bit angry, and we try not to be angry all the time, but we sometimes we channel our anger, right? Channel our anger into trying to make a difference. This song was written by Holly Meir, and we're just going to sing a couple of verses of it. We are a gentle, angry people, and here it goes. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our hearts. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our hearts. We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our hearts. We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our hearts. And then finally, here we come to our new building here. Not so new now, it's been since 2015 that we've been in, so, but we are here for, 10 years now, so we're glad to be here too. Before we do have a couple more speakers. Before they share, I'll take a little time to share about my coming to UU and my ministry a little bit and talk about this building. I found UU on TV and a thing about that another church was doing. I saw it and I thought, oh, that's where I belong. But at that time, I couldn't come right away. I had familial kinds of things that would be very difficult for me to come. But I knew about it then. And I did visit a time or two with my son John to the Botanic Garden place when he wanted to go see some. I thought that was okay because I could just say, oh, I'm just visiting with him. But I longed for it. But eventually, my situation changed enough that I could come on over, and I was so glad to be here. And followed Shari Barr from the same church that she had been attending somewhat, and she had been coming some, and I was envious. And when it got to the point where I could come, I came on over. And then after I got here, because I had been a lay minister at the Methodist church, which was my halfway house, I'd been trained as a lay minister, so I started preaching some and doing some other things, which I was not allowed to do, y'all, in my earlier church. They still don't ordain women. But I was not allowed to preach there. So I preached some at the Methodist church, and so when I got to UU, I started preaching some here, and then I started getting very involved because I was a professor with Leon Spencer and others out at Georgia Southern Rockies. I was very involved with social justice things through my job. Because in education, we had some very difficult things going on, even in our county where they resegregated the schools. So I got very, very active in all of that. And it started occurring to me that, if I could retire early enough that I could do this work that I love the preaching, the being with people, the social justice. I could do that for another career. And so I began to look into going to seminary, and this congregation said they would sponsor me. I had to have a sponsor. They said they would sponsor me, and I had a little committee that worked with me during that sponsorship period. And indeed, I did go to Meadville Lombard during my last years at Georgia Southern and completed that work, and then did my internship in Augusta. This church called me to serve at least half-time in 2006, and that began July 1st, 2006. We had the ordination here at this building, lovely ordination, and then the next year at that building, you all came, Shari and Lisa, because Greg and I were married there, and so we also welcomed grandchildren and the two little great grandchildren that you saw up here singing with us, Alec and Elena, welcomed them into the world in this church. As we continued to grow, we thought, well, we might need even a bigger place, a place we can do more things, and we began to look for possibilities. And this building was originally my son's body shop, a body shop. Well, after a while, we saw that business probably wasn't going to work out well, and then we continued to be rented for a while. But I think, now that I think about it, it's such a perfect thing, because we bring our bodies and our minds and our spirits. We come here to be restored, refreshed up a bit, you know. We come in with dents and cracks that need to be healed and repaired. So it's serving that good purpose on and on in a greater way. And I think your dad would be happy about that, JD, that we're doing that in a greater way. So we have been here since 2015. We had a wonderful, on January 24th, 2016, our moderator, Jim Key, came and provided the keynote address, and Reverend Keith Klein did a special dedication for the building. Our earlier building, thanks to Dr. Leon Spencer, we had President Bill Sinkford came and gave an address at that one. So we were well connected with people in UUA as well, and we were very happy about that. In 2017, we added the Mind Body Center. And so that's where we're going to be eating. We also use it to eat. Well, that's about mind, body too, right? But we have our Zen Center, the Statesboro Sangha meets there, led by Laura Milner. Laura and Dixie were planning to come today because of family situations. They were not able to come. They were needed elsewhere, and that happens sometimes. But Laura is an ordained lay Buddhist minister, and she leads the meditations. Inga Spencer does yoga there, and also our friend Fred Richter and others. So it's a wonderful place that we've added there too. So it's a wonderful building, wonderful place, a place of love, a place where we hope people can see. It's not hidden; it's really out there. And I think it being not hidden has helped us bring in some new people. And some of the new people that have come in are Siren and Logan, and we wanted some newer folks to share with us as well. So y'all come share whatever you want to share.
Hey everybody, I'm very nervous, so I'm the one person to get this out of the way. Jane asked me to represent the president of UU, which is really an honor given that we're still pretty new members. Larry Smith and Shari Barr asked us to be here when we first started coming here. I did not grow up in any kind of church background. In fact, my mom was vigorously anti-church. So the thought of coming to any kind of formal religious environment, as much as we can call the UU a formal religious environment, was really intimidating for me. And showing up here that first day and not knowing any of the songs and all that stuff was scary. But I walked in the first time and realized, oh, it's not just Larry and Shari that I know already. There's all these people that I actually already know from the community. And so far, we've just been welcomed so warmly. And this has become this new part of our life that is so special to us, that we get to have this little bit of structure every Sunday and come into a place where we can tell you guys about what's going on in our lives, big news and bad news, and I can come here and I can be an openly transgender man. I don't have to hide that part of my life in this building. I can be kind of weird and antisocial and an oversharer and be really honest about things you guys don't need to know about, and nobody bats an eye. It's amazing to just have this place where I get to share this feeling of generosity for each other and for our community. It's so special to me. It's such an important part of Logan and I growing together as a couple, getting to check in with you guys every week and have this be a regular part of our life, and know we have a place where we can be thinking about what we're giving to this community that's been wonderful for us, and that we've got to create this wonderful little life together in. And that first day coming in, the children's affirmation, our bridge song, just made me cry so much. It's just like out of nowhere, I'm just like weeping and thinking about, how different would my life have been if I was one of those kids going through the bridge, and so that's something that's been on my mind lately, is really looking forward to, hopefully one day we're gonna adopt, and maybe we get to watch them run under you guys' arms one day, and I'm so excited for that. And I'm so looking forward to the next group of people to ask me what church I go to and look so disappointed when I tell them I go to Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. But hey, it's church. I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys so much. I'm not at ease at the podium, and I also want to say how special it's been getting to know Mo and Tara. I want to give a shout out to Mo and Tara.
Let them weigh in.
Yeah.
Okay. I had the surprising little joy of going to Savannah Pride with them when I barely knew them at all, and I just had this feeling on the drive up and coming back. These are like the friends that I've been really hoping to find, and I'm really hoping that we have the time to get to know each other better, and all of you I'm hoping to have time to get to know all of you better. It's been so special, and I just look forward to all your smiling faces so much every Sunday. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Second all that. It's a hard thing to follow, isn't it?
But this next song that we're going to sing together after that wonderful sharing from Siren is one that many of us love. I have a necklace that says "Let It Be a Dance." We're going to sing "Let It Be a Dance." So I will ask you to, or a little bit of "Let It Be a Dance." It's a long song too. I will ask you to rise in body or spirit as we sing this one, okay? Because we got to move a little bit while we sing that "Let It Be a Dance." Here we go.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. In the hills and the mountains too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with singing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. In the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance.
All right. We're clapping. As you come back in, Adrian and Mo, see you get a clap. As you come in. Now, I've shown you pictures of different buildings, but I wanted to share this also, is that we are not the building, right? We love our building, but we are more than that. When I first came into UU, we had some folks then that were a little bit afraid for us to be too out there. And they didn't want us to fly a rainbow flag or do anything like that. They didn't want to call attention to who we were, right? Understandably, from the background that some folks have, okay? Gotta be understanding of that. But we don't feel that way anymore. People know who we are. They know what our values are. And we are out there. We have left the building. So we're out there protesting and demonstrating. We're out there in front of that Confederate statue trying to get a contextual marker up. I'm sorry I cut your head off, Greg. We're out there feeding hungry people, going to various events sponsored by other community agencies, being in parades, we're waving everybody, flying our flags and everything in the parades. We are out there, and I am very grateful for that. I'm glad that we have shifted culturally enough that people are, at least in this group, we're not going to be afraid. We're going to let people know who we are, because there may be some people who need people like us. And you're right, Sarah, there's some others that will shake their heads. Oh no. But others will say, oh, thank goodness, there's a place for me. So you all continue to be out there. And because we are a place of love and understanding and acceptance. And Sarah mentioned about being able to be, and people being accepted to children. So JD's back in, I'll embarrassing him. I want to embarrass him. My grandson JD. We used to go to church on LaGrange Street. JD at that time was kind of a thin child, and so he was sort of embarrassed, and he'd go to school and he'd always wear a jacket or a long sleeve shirt. And in my house, we'd go to church. And I said, JD, do you want to go back home and get your jacket or your long sleeve shirt? And he said, no, Nana Jane, the kids at UU don't make fun of me. And I said, yes. Yes. That is who we are. We don't do that. You don't have to cover up here. You see, he's not covered up now. He's out there too. You can be out there with your tattoos or whatever. We are here and welcoming you. So welcome beyond our walls. We have got another song we're going to sing, and this relates to the who will we be? Who will we be? We're going to come back in here 10 years from now to celebrate our 50th anniversary. We'll have to have a longer timeline, Sherry, on the wall. Who will we be? What will we retain? What may be different? We hope that we can build something here and into the community, make a difference in the world. We hope we can make this community, this nation, this world needs Unitarian Universalism. Unitarian Universalism is my salvation, and it can be for other people as well. So we need to be there to bind up the broken, to help the captives. We have captives now, being sent there. Help the captives go free. Dissolve all mourning. Build a land that can be. So I'm going to invite you to sing with us. You don't have to stand again, but we're going to sing We'll Build a Land, number 121. Just a little bit of it. We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the all of gladness is all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Y'all are pretty good singers. We don't have a choir up here this time, but we did okay for all those good songs, those good UU songs. Now, we're going to do another UU song while we're taking the offering. We pass these offering plates that Donna provided in memory of her son. I want to show you also as we begin to pass these plates and share the offering. Remember that half that's not identified as a pledge goes to the Bullitt County NAACP. Donna also came in this morning, she's made these books here, that, volumes. She says this, let me read this thing. It says, this 2-volume edition of Singing the Living Tradition is presented to the UU Statesboro by Donna Jones, grateful UU member of 16 years, honoring its 40th anniversary and in memory of her children, David Shriver and Laura Lynn Roberts. With these pages are hundreds of hymns of many faiths, as well as responsive readings, just as buried. Amen and blessed be Donna Jones. Thank you, Donna, for that. Al Hackle, our president, requested the song that we're going to listen to as we continue to take up the offering. You can sing along if you like. Blue Boat Home by Unitarian Universalist Peter Mayer. A soprano singing it. We can sing with her. I feel sing ocean, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my drive and heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or have I known. Why University ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. All right. We're going to cut that a little short because we got some other things to do today. One thing I wanted to do before we get to to talk about birthday wishes, we have a card that was made by Abby out there. You can write birthday wishes for us. But as you think about what will we be in the next 10 years, what do you wish for us? And I just want to take a little time before we do joys and concerns for somebody to you can just popcorn it out. What do you have a wish for us? Anybody?
That nobody will say, is this you a cult?
Johnny wishes that nobody will ask, is this you a cult? Anybody else have a wish?
That's why.
Birthday wishes? I'll give you time to think about it. Oh,
I say to continue to grow in love and joy.
grow, continue. We continue what we're doing. Growing, loving, joy. We're doing some good stuff, y'all. We're going to continue doing that good stuff. Oh, no. But now I'd also like to have a little time, if anybody has a special joy or concern. I know people, some think that we got food back there. But if you have a special joy or concern that you would like to share, you can have me put the stone in the water for you, or you can come up and do it if you want to. Yes, Mike?
You might candle for Pope Francis.
Yes.
An exemplar of the Christian doctrine as far as I'm concerned. Passion and justice.
Pope Francis. Sharon?
I had two. I want to light another candle for Larry and Kathy and for their daughter, Carol Baker, whose life is being honored and memorialized in Colorado today. They're still out there. And they will plan a service here. You'll all hear about that. They've got lots of candles. So for Larry and Kathy, and in memory of Carol, in support of her husband Scott and everyone who loved her. And then I have another quick announcement. Yay, Jim Nichols got to go home from the nursing home. And there's still some challenges with transfer from Van Buchanan and such. And so Betsy has requested 2 strong, able-bodied people to come help with that transfer immediately after the potluck. So if you can be one of those people, tell me and I'll give you the address and we'll make a connection. So he's at home, so he's recovering from the stroke.
Now where's he got the transfer to?
In his home, within their home on Delaware Road. So
Oh.
if you can be one of those people doing that, come tell me and I'll connect you with him.
Oh, well, when they need to do other things.
Well, for
Not-
today,
For today.
for today specifically.
Okay, for today, all right. June.
Two joys, actually. I had no idea what my son and my husband had concocted between them for today. So it was a surprise to me.
Oh.
But, you know, as a parent, you always go, oh gosh, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? Yeah, I'm feeling good today.
Absolutely.
And the second joy is UU, maybe 40 UUFS, maybe 40 years old. But Tuesday, I celebrated 30 wonderful years with my darling husband.
Inga, did you have something you wanted to share?
Yeah. I'm lighting a candle for our two dogs. Actually, they are our daughter's dogs, Bella and Thaddeus. Stephanie, our daughter, moved in with us with the dogs, and they're so loving creatures. But lately, I've been all in within 4 days. One ran away and had Leon fall and break ribs.
Oh no!
And 4 days later, one of them bit me. So now we realize we're not made to keep those dogs. So I light a candle that they find a good home.
So you're also looking for someone else to
take
the dogs. Okay.
They have been trained not to be, they're loving creatures, but when conditions arise that they feel fearful.
This is just not the place for them right now.
Not in our house, no. Thank you.
And but Leon is with you, so he's not too hurt, right? Yeah. Are there others?
I'll just stay back here. I have a joy and a concern. Our family has been attending kind of sporadically, a little more regularly lately, but we are just so excited and grateful for what a welcoming family you guys have been for us. We've gone through a lot, and not just it. To have kids, teenagers especially, excited to come to a church is huge to us, and for the messages that are shared every time we come, and the spirit that's given to us as we lead and carry throughout so the next time we see you guys has been incredible. So we want to appreciate that and appreciate you guys. And then for a concern at this point in our family, we've been trying to get Mark's house on the market, and there's been a lot of hiccups and holdups, and finally I think we are now ready to move on with that, and hopefully we'll be going on the market very soon. And so if you just keep that little push that it goes fast in the back of your minds, we would appreciate those positive vibes and good thoughts.
We are happy to have your family here, and it's really every time you walk in the door. Anything? Oh, yes, Steve.
Well, I am going to light a candle for my friend and his family. The first thing I saw when I woke up this morning was that some friends of mine, their son was on a choir trip with his college group, and he's epileptic and had a grand seizure and passed away on the choir trip. So I'm going to light a candle for their family and in memory of their son Parker, who we lost unexpectedly. So if you could kind of keep my friends Chris and Sarah and their family in your prayers. They're not connected with this area, but I'm sure their family can use anything you've got to spare.
Thank you. Logan.
Got a joint concern. My uncle, Michael Fred, someone who influenced me a lot as a kid. Really kind of had me thinking about things like politics and society and everything like that from a young age, and really think about things very critically. It's a big influence on me and kind of my thought nowadays. He's currently in Salt Lake City, receiving cancer treatment there. Most of my family have flown over the last few days. He had cancer for, probably about 6 or 7 years now, on and off. But it's looking like it's getting towards the end of his time here on Earth, and I just want to, if you have any prayers or anything to say for me, that'd be great this time. But kind of lighten it up a little bit. 40 years here, I just really hope that we continue down into the future, picking up people like me and Syrian who just really can benefit from having a religious home and benefit from having so many of your smiling faces every Sunday. I was in a pretty dark place a lot last year, and I think that coming here was one of the main things that really got me out of it. So I just want to thank you all.
Thank you.
So I want to light a candle for Jim McMillan, who is a dear friend of ours, former professor at Georgia Southern, and for his daughters, Margaret and Caroline, and Margaret's husband, Jason. He just passed away from cancer this past week, and I'm alive. And also worried about Caroline, who is still here in Statesboro, and is going to be on her own. So that whole family. Thank you.
As I see no one else hopping up, I would like one final candle for those joys and concerns. We all have some in our hearts that we let them express. And I'm going to invite you now to stand one more time, and we will think about these joys and concerns and we sing another one of our favorite songs, Spirit of Love.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
May that spirit of life that connects us all be with us and continue to connect us on and on beyond these 40 years. Amen. Blessed be. Now I invite you to you remain standing while we extinguish our chalice. Oops, let me put the words up there in case some of us forget where they are. You ready? We
Extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
You may be seated for some quick announcements. Does anyone have any announcements about what they need to do with the potluck? I guess the people that have things in the refrigerator or in the kitchen need to kind of be exiting to get it back to the back. Anything else?
I put a few tables and chairs outside underneath the trees in the shade. So if a few of us want to sit out there to eat.
You can sit inside or out. And thank you all for a wonderful celebration. And now we're going to rise once more and sing our benediction.
Jane, sorry, real quick. It's not UU related, but you know I'm always trying to get people over to the medieval group that I'm part of. We're having a special thing today after the potluck at one of our members' houses. It's just going to be really fun. We're going to learn some medieval dances and stuff. So if anybody's interested in coming over after the potluck, come find me during the potluck and I'll give you the address and tell you how to get there and everything. It's just going to be like a fun little hangout time. So anyway, if you want to learn medieval dances after the potluck, come find me.
And now we will rise and sing our benediction together.